Well, well, well. Thank goodness it's Tuesday. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Doc from North America. Another fun-filled day. Yesterday was President's Day, and the markets are all over the place in the sense of the exchanges put data in that doesn't always match up as the day itself. But we'll get rolling along here. You can see there's the Swiss. No, that was the S&P. I had the Swiss up there a few seconds ago. Good. Where is that at? Right there. There's the Swiss. You can see it's moving down. And we have the same thing on the J4X. You see it's moving down, which means the dollar is moving down. That's what that is. And that's the action we're starting to see. It seems like the dollar is weakening. A little surprise to me. I keep on thinking that they're going to lift it up somehow or another. They do like, as we talk about the Yellen spread, I also kind of know that they normally are going to keep strengthen the dollar. So it's just a little curious to see some of the weakness. It seems to go plateau, then now it's making another dip. Thought it would stay sideways at the moment. So it is a little curious what they're coming up with. We'll see as the days go on. We follow the math, and the end result is that no matter what I think, it's the math that we follow. So the math is what it is, and we don't have much of a choice about it. It does what it's going to do, and we just follow it. All right, and good morning, Azima. Hello. How are you this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening? And let's see, what do we have going on? Is it anything you follow? Or just saying hi. You're just welcome to say hi. That's just as good. What else are we looking at here? So it's a weak dollar, and I did see we've busted through the 139 area now on cable. So we're really battling our way all the way up into there's 39 and a half as the high today. So we're watching it slowly charge its way between that 38 and 42 range. Matter of fact, we have someone on here that likes to watch the natural gas. Let's see what natural gas is doing too at the moment. Let's just take a quick peek at that. Oop. Okay, there we are. And let's see what natural gas is doing. Where are you, natural gas? Oh, there we are. Natural gas, and let's give it a refresh. Move that over. Can't get a green dot for nothing, can we? And you can't. The mathematics refuses to turn up, but we're in the weekly buy at the same time. So what a trapped situation this is. They obviously, the longer term says they want to take it up. The very short term seems like they want to sell it down. And it's late in the season, and I guess that's what the pressure is. But so we're stuck in a neutral, and we have a trader that talks about being long, and we can't give them the mathematical blessing of being long, but we can say yes, you can't be short. We know that much. So there is the action we're seeing here with the natural gas. There's a lot of strength in that, but not enough to get the day to get rolling. I guess, more than anything else is we do know one thing, and that is this late in the season, it's usually odd to see natural gas get any legs on the upside. So I guess the natural tendency is for people to sell the thing. Let's see what crude oil is doing. There's crude oil. Let's give that a refresh. Look at the energy sector real quick. You can see here, it was flirting through the 60 area. You can see it has gone to almost 61, and that's a combination of yesterday and today. That's what's really kind of crazy about that. When the United States has 3-day weekends for some type of holiday, it really messes up the charts there. It takes a day or two for it to clean itself up. And so there's the crude oil. It's still marching along. In this case here, the thing is in a weekly buy and a daily buy, so it is a winner chicken dinner, so that's all right. No complaints there. And then the last of the energies we normally look at is the bean oil. Let's see what they're doing with Mr. and Mrs. Bean Oil right there. And trying to roll over a little bit here today. Again, they do blend some of the data from last night to tonight, so forth and so on. Notice we've lost a green dot there on Friday now. We'll see how that all rolls, but we know one thing for sure, and that is we're in a long weekly buy in that little energy product. So, hey, Robin and Geo, how are you doing, George? So that is the action we're seeing, and it doesn't seem to want to let go. It really doesn't. The strength is out there in the commodities, and they just don't know how to, pull back, which is really tough for a producer to watch this thing just slowly grind up. They've fallen into the universe of the stock market where it doesn't stop. It just keeps on inching its way up, and it doesn't. The never-ending story. I think that's the best way to describe it there. So that is what we're looking at here. All right, we can go back to the currencies, and let's take a look at the euro too at the same time. Since we saw, look at the cable there, going up, up and away, and you can see euro doing the same thing, up, up. Are we going to get through that 20-ish area? That's what I figured who was looking for that around here. We had somebody looking for that too at the same time, just as they're looking at someone's looking at natural gas, another person's looking at cable, another person's looking at the euro. You can see our math is saying it's going to be firm, and we're trying to get into a weekly buy as we speak right there. So that could be a real interesting sign after all these weeks in a sell from in here. Let's fix that. Take the center and make it gray. Is it that gray or is it that gray? It's that gray. Okay, there we are. And you can see there. Thing is trying to get back easily into the weekly buy. You can see the strength that we've had here. I guess it was right here we went into the daily buy. So what do we have on the fact check spreadsheet? That'd be line 14, right? So is that five full days in the daily buy? Now, what else we got to say about this? Oh, you can't see the chart there. Let's do that too. There it is. You can see that in the weekly on the euro, showing lots of strength starting to kick back in again. I don't know. I guess we'll try to get into that 122s, maybe play the high 122s, maybe go after the 23. I mean, with the way the cable is inching its way up day in and day out, that has to put pressure on the other currencies. And we thought the dollar would keep a steady sideways action. Where are we on that? The dollar index, that's what, 20, where is it? 25. We're in a weekly buy for 4 weeks in that, so I guess maybe they're going to roll that over on the opposite direction. Let's see. We had a lot of people in yesterday too for the holiday, which was nice. Wonder if 44's in today. 44, have you come visiting? We were giving an explanation of the charts here on Friday. For every buyer, there's a seller. For every seller, there's a buyer. So there's more than one opinion. Always is, always will be more than one opinion in the marketplace, that's for sure. And more than likely everywhere else in reality. But we were going to try to explain a little bit more on how to read the charts here for 44. So 44, if you're in the house, let us know. We'll try to give you some attention to understanding the charts a little bit better. I know that was one of the issues you had. You wanted to know when to be long and when to be short, and they scream it. Our charts scream it all the time. They don't hide the fact, that's for sure. Okay, where else we got to go? Anybody want to see anything? If not, we'll go into the rhythm. We'll go from here over to Turkish Lira. There's Turkish Lira just gliding southernly, just down and away. I understand that President Erdogan had something to say to Mr. Biden, not very politely. He was a little upset with him. So I'm sure that's a norm with President Erdogan. He's got issues with a lot of different people. He has his way of doing things, and they have theirs, and obviously sometimes they don't meet. So that's that right there with the Turkish Lira. Weekly sell, no problem. This thing seems to act like it has no interest whatsoever even to get remotely close to a weekly buy. The daily cruising down for weeks upon weeks. And that is the Turkish Lira. And then we go over the Canadian. Canadian heading down, so it's putting pressure on the energy sector on the upside. Let's take a look at Nasdaq, and you can see here, sell and a sell, and we went into the weekly sell last week here, and this has been in a sell for a while. And then we go over and look at, Where do we go from? Oh yes, the Nasdaq. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq. There we are. And that has been in a weekly buy for a while. In the Nasdaq, we're looking at that's line 23 on the fact check. It's been 16 weeks in a weekly buy. Went into daily sells a couple days ago, last week, and then on, I guess that's the 15th. This is cash, so we can actually trust that. Cash is so much better than the futures contract, and so you can see here it went into the buy there yesterday, and up and away today. JJ, iron ore. Ooh, there's an interesting one, soaring 6 to 8% in the last 2 sessions. I'll tell you, look at the platinum. I guess that goes right up there with the platinum thing, huh? You know, the exotics, iron ore, platinum. Who else is in that community? Let me think. What else would be in there? What other minerals or traded commodities that could be in there? Robin, Robin had a friend that does containers, container inventory and how many containers being used or buying, and some of those old fundamentals are interesting. They really can show a lot. Speaking of which, let's go over and look at the platinum. I don't think we have a contract for iron ore. There is a contract out there. I think it's a London contract. And that's pretty cool. Oh, where we have to go there? Okay, right there. Okay. And then let's go over to check out the platinum today. Platinum was ripping it. Yesterday the spread got down to like 517. Let's see what they're doing today in an active market. Activate. Yeah, see, it's got yesterday and today's all combined together doing goofy things. And there we go. I fixed that. So now we've got platinum trading at the, oh wow, 1348 is the high today. How? Wow. Zoom to the moon, Alice. So I guess the iron ore is taking off in the same way. Running hot, steady, and straight. Let's go to J4X and stick gold up on there so we can see the difference between the two. Remember, spot gold is trading at parity with New York futures. So it works out really well there. And there it is right there. So we're looking at 1817 minus 13. Ooh, we're getting close, aren't we? So what is that? 07 now, 507? I guess that's what it is. 1311. So that's 506. So we're seeing the spread down to 506 now. Wonder what the relationship is with iron ore and platinum. Some of these exotic minerals, I guess. I don't think iron ore is an exotic mineral, but I think they do trade it on the London exchange, but they don't trade it here in the States. It's like aluminum here. Aluminium is not really traded very well here in the States. And let's see. Looky. Where am I heading from here? So, let's save that too while we're here. The platinum action. That is so cool. Platinum. Cool. And then we might as well do the metals. Let's see with silver. They keep on talking about silver. They say that the London SLV paper contract, or the physical delivery, is having real problems. But you can see here we're stuck in a long weekly sell, and the daily buy is having an issue trying to get going. But they say that they really think that there's a rip your face off rally hiding out there. So far, Robin sees it with his proprietary stuff. We see the strength at the moment lacking in our math, gets up on the edge and takes off and then fails each time. So the moment we even get remotely close lining up with Robin's stuff, boy, that's usually a great buy, that's for sure. Did I say that right? Let me just go there and save it just to make sure. Oh yeah, let's reload it again. I was talking through that, so I'm not even sure if I saved it. There we are. There it is. So then let's check out the gold. There it is, gold. And you can see it's just down a little bit. And let's give that a refresh. You would think if there's a face-ripping rally ready in silver, you would think that would be the same over in gold. Weekly sells, daily sells. Just can't get any real life into it. So thank you, JJ, on that insight on the iron ore. It's like the old days where they used to follow how many was it train cars, being used, that type of thing. The good old fundamentals when we could actually trust stuff like that, which was really nice. Really miss those days. Now it's just quantitative or nothing. And then there's the copper. Copper, Robin put a good opinion out about that to me last week, about the idea if they're going to be building all these electric things, they're going to need copper for the armatures, and that is true. So it's not as much as China building buildings and knocking them down, as much as they need, all these electric cars and armatures that need copper to be able to make electricity, to run electrical motors. So copper is becoming the electric motor play. And you can see that first takeoff is right there when Mr. Biden signed that EV executive order. Boy, how confirmed was that? I mean, Speaker Pelosi the day before had bought 1.25 million shares, or $1.25 million worth of stock in Tesla. So, the working action that they have between the executive orders and the politicos is pretty interesting. And you can see this looks like that. I mean, there's no doubt, except for now, there's such hunger and the rationale of, if you want electrical, devices, you're going to need copper. And that's exactly what we're seeing there, is the copper is showing lots of life. All right, and let's save the copper right there. So it is cool. What else we got going on here, traders? It's a quiet day. No one seems to be asking anything. We're just kind of just being all friendly. That's a nice thing. It's a good thing. Really wish 44 would come back so we could get into that conversation. If anybody else wants to have the conversation, just shout it out. I'd like to point out the different nuances of the mathematics here. I was just watching Sean Carroll being interviewed. He won my award of the third best idea in the Arrow of Time at Perimeter Institute under Smolin. They had back in 1617, they had I guess it was 16, the summer of 16, they did a strings thing, but on time. And the top three people I thought that made total sense, the best sense, let's put it that way. Sean Carroll came in third, the physicist. The philosopher, mathematician, woman professor came in second from Arizona, and then the microbiologist from University of Pennsylvania came in first. So there's always nuances to the math. Every math has a nuance. I would like to talk about the nuances of this stuff right here. We just need somebody to just fire that question out. All right. From there, that's all the metals. So we've done the metals. We've done the what else have we done? We've done the energies. And so, shall we look at the stock indices? They're showing lots of strength here this morning. There is the Nasdaq 100 on Dukascopy. They refer to it as the Tech 100. And this is we talked about this yesterday, where they trade 8 billion shares a day now on Nasdaq, like the old days where it was about a 7-to-1 ratio to the Nasdaq to the New York Stock Exchange. Now it's the reverse. New York Stock Exchange does about 1 billion shares a day. They do about 7. And they even have 6 stocks from the Nasdaq 100 Tech in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So you can see that the times have changed. It sounds like a 60s song. Let's give this a refresh and just do that real quick. There we are. You can see that spike too on the weekly. They really jacked that thing, didn't they? Sometimes you get those spikes and then you get the break afterwards. See how that goes. And then there's the S&P 500, kind of moving along slow and steady. And that's like the world index itself, because the S&P has 50% of the companies in it are U.S. companies, and the other 50% are global companies. So it's truly a global index, that's for sure. And then we look at the M2K, which is the Russell. And the Russell has taken that position of old, where it's like the Nasdaq of old. Yeah. And so we're waiting to see if tomorrow or beginning of the next bar tonight we get into a daily buy here. See, we're in a weekly buy. We just need a little bit more work right there. That's a plot one is 0 point or Z point. I think it's bouncing between Z point 10 and Z point Z7. So just flirting away. The buyers are inching their way in again. That's what it comes down to. Let's see, where is the Russell RT? Right there. So quiet. I am surprised. I guess everybody's kind of tired from their 3-day weekend here in the States. And then last but not least, there's the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's give that a refresh. And I didn't do the other. I got to do that other cryptocurrency. I didn't read anything particular about it. There's no like, oh, excited they did X volume. I guess I'll go to the website at Merck and see what they say about that. Let's move that over like that. And you can see here, let's move that like that. There we are. You can see still in the weekly buy, kind of tight. And you can see we're inching our way into the daily buy. Just missed it here, and now it's trying to get into it here. Indeed. So there's the stock indices. Quiet, quiet. All right. Let's see now. What else can we look at? Let's look at the Bitcoin. When we look at stock indices, we look at the Bitcoin. I understand that they had what they called a Valentine's swoon. You know, it fell down. You can see it here. Got down to was the low 45,950. Now we're touching the $50,000 area. Today's high is $51,065 on the Bitcoin in February. So the action says, you know, cryptos slowly inch their way up. Before you know it, they'll be cruising through the $100,000 area. It seems like every major bank in the United States is trying to tell us that it's going to go to anywhere from the 100 to the 300,000. So there's a lot of cheering going on. And then there's the 10-year. Let's give that a refresh. Yesterday they really pushed that down. Let's see what they do today with it. Yep, still pushing down. So when this goes down, interest rates are rising. That's how that works. It's the inverse relationship. And then the big one we're thinking is that people are really starting to pay attention to the 30-year. That's the 10-year right there. So let's look at the 30-year. And there it is right there. Let's give that a refresh. There we go. Same situation, moving in the same direction. It must be threatening the 2% area, which is pretty good, getting a 2% return in a U.S. government bond. And we save that one. And I guess the interest rate factor is that, you know, due to our math, we can see that it has gone in and out at times, but now it seems to be really grabbing a hold of it, like it did here, where we went to the sell, found a way to get it back into the buy, and then back into the sell here, and it seemed to gravitate down into this little bounce, and now we're back into the sell again here. See that? Just is that one over more? No, that's, how did they get that in the buy? No, yeah, that was it. That was the buy there, and now back into the sell that day on the Thursday of last week, and you can see the pressure is on with us in a weekly sell. So the pressure is being put into the interest rate market. And with 18 trillion, not billion or million, trillion parked in negative return, I imagine that this one has lots of legs. Lots of them. Lots of strength. All right, and that kind of goes through the look of what's going on in the interest rate arena and the crypto universe. And we will try tonight to have the next futures contract, the Ethereum, see how it's doing. Matter of fact, why don't we do this just real quick? Let's go to the Chicago Merc page and see if they have anything like excited about the first week of trading. I didn't see anything about it. Normally they'll be beating their chest. They'll be like, "Oh, you should have seen the blah blah blah," that type of thing. So let's see what the CME group and the news and so forth is. Let's just take a quick look. Services. Is there a news thing? Markets. Let's see what the crypto says about it. Cryptocurrencies right there. Expand your choice of hedging your cryptos. How nice. Bitcoin. And now available. Let's see what that looks like. See if they can show us a chart or something. Right. There's the futures. So trading in the 1813 area, down a little bit. So it's not really joining in with the when is that? That is today. So it's not really joining in with Bitcoin running through the roof. So now we know that we're going to learn from both of these if all cryptos march in the same direction or they become much more specialized, depending on what they are. Let's see if we can see a chart. Quotes, calendar, margins, listed settlement method, position. Can't they give us a chart? Just a fun chart? You think this big blank page might be a chart? Data? No. Yeah, sure. We'll try delay close. We'll just see anything. Let's see. Livestock, dairy, commodities, softs. Where's the cryptos? Interest rates, maybe? FX. Don't see it there. Well, let's go back up there. I'd love to see a chart on it, see what they're doing with that, and then we'll try to load that into our system and see what's going on there. Services, education, data. And up there, markets. Let's try the markets again. And the cryptos right there. Let's see. Let's look at Bitcoin and see what they say about that. Does that show the futures contract is showing it up? What is this? BTC, Bitcoin. Yeah, how come we don't have a nice cute little chart like that? Oh, this is an advanced decline line thing. Outright active contracts. Let's see what that does. Whoa, there's the code. No thanks. We'll move that off. Anyway, we can see one is down, the other one is up. It's a little surprising. I thought they would be both marching along in the same direction. So, and wow, look at that. I'm seeing on J4X, look at that. Didn't they're dropping, weren't we looking at $20 gold? So something's going on there. There's a little pressure kicking out. Let's go check out the gold. What's that all about? Making a dive. Dollar index rebounding, relatively sharp. Move in 30-minute intraday chart. Nice if you could give us a view. Sure, let's go for it. Let's see. Let's looky. Let's see, where's it at? There is the euro on an hourly. Yeah, look at that. This is an hourly chart. We can do a 30-minute for you. And then do 30-minute. News doesn't come out till 8:30, right? So did that do it? I guess it did. Let's give that a refresh. Yeah. Wow, there's a nice little spike down. Wonder what that's all about. Anybody see anything in the news? Let's head over to it. You know what? Let's do this. Let's put the half hourly of silver up there too. Let's see. So there's yours, Robin. It made the 60 yesterday or today. No, that's Friday. Okay. Let's see. Let's go find. Let's do that. Make a copy of that, and we'll put silver in there. Copy window. Paste window. And Silverado. What is that? That's a S? Yeah, there we are. Yeah, look at that. Down from... What they do? They went after 28 over the holiday. No, late last night. Wow. Those vigilantes are not succeeding on that again, that's for sure. Let's go over to J4X. Yeah, out of the corner of my eye, I saw the gold drop. Yeah, look at that. There's J4X for the day. Pressure on that, too. Greens will be changing very soon on that Hinky Ashy and joining in with our red dots. Interesting. Wow. I guess something, silver... I don't know what that... let me just go check a website and see if we can find out what's going on here. Interesting. China threatens to hobble U.S. defense industry by limiting export of rare earth metals. Aha! That's something right there. World stock hits low. World stock hit longest record streak in 17 years as yields surge. Bitcoin spikes over 50,000. Okay, and then China is threatening to hobble, hobble U.S. defense industry by limiting export of rare earth metals. Interesting. Let's see, what else is there? So I guess it's that type of thing going on this morning. Are they doing that to the stock market? Let's see what's going on in the stock market. I don't think the stock market's really feeling anything. Let's minimize that for a moment. Maybe a little bit. They're putting a little pressure on the stock market, but I don't see anything deep going on. This is the intraday. They're all up very firm. You know, I can show you right here on a bigger chart. Like there's a Nasdaq still up firm. Nothing's really going on here. We'll give it a little refresh, but I guess just a little shake up there. Yeah, you know, it's a Chinese. I guess it's a China scare. That's what that is. Them talking about limiting, and I guess that didn't they like Rio Tinto or something like that? Didn't they do that, JJ? Didn't they buy Rio Tinto or a big piece of Rio Tinto down in Australia, and they're really big on iron ore. Isn't that how that played out years ago? And then they've been trying to buy up a lot of the the Australian exotic minerals. They're doing that around the planet. They're trying to consume that. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. You know, when they go and buy all that stuff up, and the end result is somebody comes up with synthetic stuff to replace it. In the end, that's usually the way it goes. But in the beginning, it creates a hassle there. And you can see there's gold. Got down to 1803. Wonder what platinum's doing out of this. I'm thinking platinum is considered like a precious metal, really. No, it's backing off also. Yeah, look at that. So it fell down from 1348 all of a sudden it's trading at 12.96. That's $52 off its high. Wow. And what's going on with the spread? So 1300 minus, well, the spread's still at the same, 507. So the spread hasn't shifted any. So the action is still there. Buy platinum, sell gold. All right. Let's see. What else do we left off? We did all these in the. We can just close that out unless someone. Let's see. What else is there when it comes to the action of the products versus currencies? Is there anything else out there? I guess we could take a look at some of the grains, see what they're doing with that. There's soybeans. They don't seem to be too excited one way or the other. Let's give it a refresh. And we'll stretch it out a little bit too so you can see it. So soybeans are higher today than they were on Friday. And that's what's going on there. But you can see we're still stuck in the sell situation there, and we're flirting with a weekly. We're still in a weekly buy for 25 weeks now. 25 weeks in a weekly buy. We'll see if they hold up this week. Getting pretty close. Last week I tried to do the same thing. Gee, man, hey, used to use Man and Company for my clearing. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing fine, thank you. Watching you from Brazil. How is it going? We're finding some fascinating action this morning here. You see the silver situation, and the gold situation, and the Bitcoin taking off. We were trying to figure out the new futures contract in the cryptos. It doesn't seem to be showing as much strength as Bitcoin. Bitcoin seems to be having a much happier day about it. But yeah, I'm going to be watching I just registered for something in Sao Paulo. I'm going to be watching. It's going to be a 2-week Zoom. Yeah, a whole 2 weeks of Zoom. So we're real excited. It's a physics thing. So 2 weeks of physics. So going into late June and the week in July, Doc will be definitely involved in the Brazilian universe, that's for sure. Last year it was in South Africa, in Cape Town. And the year before that it was in Brussels. So this year it's going to be in Sao Paulo. Looks really nice, the website for this Zoom conference that I'm going to be involved with. Looking forward to it. So I'll be Brazilian in a cybernetic way going into the June-July thing. 2 full weeks of Zoom every day. Yep. Looks like fun. Here, I'll show you the website. Where's that website? I did save it. Well, we'll go after it another time. Don't need to get too crazy around here. Let's see what corn looks like. Now, corn's backing off. So we're seeing soybeans showing some firmness, but we're seeing, well, no, I guess the same thing. You know, we got beans closed on Friday at 538.75, and we're looking at beans trading all the way up to 543 almost today, 542.75. So we're near the highs. Actually, it got up to 551. So we're seeing strength in the beans and corn. Wonder what wheat's doing. We saw how wheat was trying to press down. Okay, yeah. Wheat is not as dynamic there. Can you talk about the rumors I've been hearing for a while now about the dollar losing a lot of its value in the near future? You know, we're kind of doubting that, but we, especially with Blinder, and we're thinking that Blinder is going to be the Fed chair, and to replace this Fed chair, and at the same time with Mrs. Yellen in there as Secretary of Treasurer, we kind of doubt we're going to see too much weakness, but we're seeing it right now. We can say that. I just want to refresh this real quick, just to get a look. There we are. We are kind of surprised, but I guess wheat is higher today than it was from Friday also. So they're lifting all of them. Let's go over to the dollar index, and we'll have a little looky at it. Here's the ETF Dollar Index, Where is it at? UUP. It's here somewhere. There it is, right there. And overall, this is the dollar index. It's been kind of, I want to say sideways, you know. It's had a nice little sell-off here, though. You know, it has been selling down, and you can see it here. You know, you can see, you know, the euro has been moving up. Same thing with the cable right here. But that's been moving up for a while now. When you go over to our fact check spreadsheet, you can see, where's the mouse on that? You can see that's line 13. We're 18 weeks in a buy and 7 days in a buy, whereas when it comes to the euro, we're 5 weeks in a sell with 5 days in a buy. So, you know, the dollar is weaker. You know, we can go back and look at that, but let's take a look at that a little bit closer again. Let's go back to it. Overall, it's more of a sideways action and like a base or just a sideways action than it is. That's done all the selling. You know, in some ways it was rallying back up here, but it's done most of the selling that went on for the last 5 months. You know, it was up in the 27s. This is the ETF of the DXY, and then you know it seems to have done this bottom thing. I'm not really convinced that there's a big move in currencies in general, except for the cable. That's the only one I really do see it in. You know, I really think the cable is going to bring itself back to, you know, what it lost from the Brexit situation. But when it comes to the dollar, I think it's going to be more sideways like this. And you can see what December and January have looked like, and here we're in February. Now, it made some lows at the beginning of the year, and then bounced up. And now we're coming back and challenging, you know, this channel area here. But I don't really see any real warning that there's a major problem with the dollar. I just don't see it. But I hear it. You know, I hear a lot of people talking about it. You know, I do hear that. And I have to respect that, you know, because people are talking about it. But I don't see it mathematically right now. You can see here, it's fighting to try to get into the weekly sell. Right here. We've got plot 1 and plot 4 minus. And so we are trying to get into a weekly sell. So, you know, we'll see how this plays out this week. If it, you know, it's there now. You know, we got 3 more business days. We'll see if it closes in a weekly sell, and if it does, maybe we do another leg down. I don't know. You know, I mean, look what happened last time it went into a sell. It played out over 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 weeks. It played down and lost, you know, a nice little percentage, nothing major. And so, you know, we've been in a weekly buy for 4 weeks, and it's found its way to climb. So let's see if it closes in the weekly sell there. There you go, HG. Cool. Yeah, matter of fact, we have, who is it? I'm friends with one of the fellows who does, he does classes with Fibonacci and so forth. He's from Brazil. And trying to think who that is. You know, he does webinars. He does a nice webinar on Fibonacci sequence for beginners and so forth. A really good one. And, you know, whenever you go back to the fundamentals, you know you're going to learn something. You know that you know you always do. You know, it's always a good way of starting. You know, to do more intense research is go back to the fundamentals. So there's a few Brazilian traders here, and one does a webinar about an hour past mine, I think it is, and it takes off for the summer months here. It takes off, I think. What is it? I think he's been off on his webinar maybe for a little while. Takes off like 4 to 6 weeks with the children. You know, he has children, and you know they do summer things, and then gets back to the webinar. So yeah, we have some Brazilian people here, and doing their thing. It's nice. So you can see here, you know, it's you guys are in the dead of summer now. I guess you're moving out of it. You're in your August type of period. So you're halfway through the summer at this point, and so I guess you're starting to think about getting back to school and back to work and all that other stuff. But we don't see any real signs of any damage yet. But if we get into the weekly sell, you know, this could fall down maybe into the 23s. You know, we could see that happen. That'd be interesting to see what goes. Hope that helped out. Let's see what else we got going on here. And with it, you would think that we'd see like grains or something like that. We'd see weakness in some of the other commodities. Let's see what they done anything with hogs. There's hogs. Okay, that was Friday's hogs. Meats went out at their highs on Friday. Well, not necessarily the high of the day, but definitely highs over the last bunch of months. Same thing with cattle. There's the cattle went out on Friday. Also, same way, showing lots of strength there. Let's save some of these while I'm looking at them. That's the April cattle. And let's go back to the hogs. Right there. We always look at the different commodities as possible surrogates for the dollar. That's why we're always interested in watching them and seeing how they play them out. Because you need large sums of something to be able to trade in the currency market when it comes to these major institutions. And so that's the reason why we look at the commodities. I mean, you look at the metals and then you look at the energies, and they're great surrogates for the dollar. So in other words, if these central banks do have a policy of not allowing certain currencies to move certain ways, then they can basically go out and create synthetics and not do it in the currency per se, but do it in a commodity, and then they don't get labeled as manipulators. Because the U.S. Treasury likes to define who is a manipulator and who is not, and so I'm sure that they're not happy about the idea of being labeled as a manipulator, and so they do it. You can short a currency. I mean, you can short a. If you're a foreign trader with foreign currency, you can short, say, a commodity like wheat here. And now you have a dollar risk. You're short dollars because you haven't converted your currency to dollars. And so it's a way of being short dollars without the central bank complaining to you that you are short dollars. Because you're short a commodity. And then what you do is you put a synthetic spread on to protect the commodity. So if the commodity goes up in value and you're short it, you're not losing money because of the commodity. The only thing you're doing is you are trading the currency. It's a surrogate. It's a synthetic. And we talk about that, how those games are being played out. And that's why we look at the commodities and try to see if there's something going on. And then when you see that selling in like silver and gold, that could be foreign money, not U.S. investors, selling those products, not to be short gold or silver per se, but to be short dollars. And then what they do is they are long calls or binaries to protect that. And so then what happens is that you have a synthetic position on, and you have that currency exposure. And that's the objective all along, is to have the currency exposure, but not with the central banks or your treasury department in your country complaining to you about you having that position, because they'll chase you out of it if you don't do what they want you to do. It's a weird world, but it is what it is. We always used to say free markets, free men, free markets, free markets, free men. But in these times, wow, they take things and they do what they want, and they will punish you if you don't do what they want you to do. Okay, there's the red wheat, and it's again, it's higher from Friday, but still generating a sell in here since there, and it's going the wrong way. Now, this week, look at this, we're flirting with a weekly sell there. In fact, we should go back to the other. The Chicago wheat. This is the Kansas City, Minneapolis wheat. This is the stuff they make pastries out of. Let's go back to the other wheat, the Chicago, and see if they're doing the same thing. I think it's already in a sell. That's what it is. Red right there. Yeah, I think wheat has been in the sell for a few weeks now. Now that I mentioned that. Yeah. So we've been in the sell since here. It fell down, tried to lift up, and now it's trying to fall down again. So it's been in the daily sell since here too, doing the same thing. It hasn't really gone anywhere with that daily sell. And again, that's possibly why we see this action. they could be in there using it as a surrogate for the currency and nothing more than that. And then there's the wheat. This is a breakfast thing. People use a lot of wheat. I'm sorry, these are oats. Oats and dotes and little daisy daisies. You can see 2 full weeks now in a sell, going on a third. But look at that. The daily is trying to perk its head up today. So let's put that in there like that. Look at that. They're trying to buy the oats. And there's the oats. So that's why we look at these products. We look at them because we know that they can be utilized in more than one facet. And we say nowadays, it's not truly just a pairs trade. It's like a 3-legged stool, and that third leg is a combination. Where'd we go there? We just went to the wrong place. What that does is now how did that happen? Oh, I see. I accidentally activate that. Wow, that's the euro. Wow, that's right. They're still pushing down on it, so the dollar is still rising. That's interesting. Look at that. That's what that is. That's the dollar against the euro. So they've taken. We tuned in when what was it? JJ mentioned it, or was it George? Maybe it was George. And then all of a sudden, look at this. It's still rolling down. I wonder what they're doing to the cable. Let's just run over to the cable real quick and see what they're doing. Yeah, cable's doing the same thing. It's moving down. The high today was 39.15, and now it's trading at 39 evens right there. So it just lost 15 pips. Oh, wait a minute. No, the high is 39.51. It's lost 50 pips. Yeah, so they're knocking that down too. So I guess the little China scare. I wonder what they're doing in the. Let's do this. Let's zip over to the stock indices again and see if they're putting more pressure on them. See, there's no real pressure going on in the stock indices. So I don't see any super panic. Just some little minor panic. And let's check out the gold. I think we still have it up on J4X, don't we, or silver? Let's see what's on the J4X. Yeah, that's the silver. And that came down from the 28 area. So that lost 60 cents. And like we said, traders, we really do believe that in this era of global marketplace that is not going to go away, of course. What happens is that they don't just follow a pairs trade; it's a triad, and that third leg, like the 3-legged stool, is commodities, and they use if a particular commodity is denominated in a currency and there's enough volume to it, they can go and trade the currency through that as a surrogate. And at the same time, not pressured by the central bank that they're short too many dollars or something like that. Because we see that. We see it over and over again. They talk about the manipulation thing. It's like, are you kidding me? You guys control everything. How can there be a manipulation? That's the one that cracks me up. Everything is controlled by the central banks now. So how is it that an individual country is manipulating anything since they're just doing all that? Hey, Daniel, how you been? I know. How about that? Now, we were looking at the Merck page. We were trying to find Ethereum. Is that how they say that? Ethereum? And so it was down, and Bitcoin up. So that was a real, I was a little surprised there. I thought that the new futures would be, moving in lockstep, combined together. Here, let's see if we can put it up there again. Markets, bring it up to here, and then go to the cryptocurrencies again. And they have now the two futures contracts. They have the Bitcoin and the Ethereum. And let's see what we can do here. Ethereum dollar reference rate and real-time index. Ooh, let's see what that looks like. So that was down, last we looked, it was down like, $30 or $40. We were surprised. Whereas, let's see, if we go back to the Bitcoin, that one right there. Okay, yeah, there it is right there. So you see these $1799.35, and then 40. Oh, have they moved? Oh, there's Bitcoin. Okay, 1795. Bitcoin trading at 49,500. Oh, it was over 50. Let's see what happens when I go over here. What is that? Is that an index? No, just a lot more data about it. Would be nice if they would throw the chart up. So, just a little surprised. This is down. Let's see. Reference updates. How about that? Yeah. Is that, they could be pairs trading them too. They could be, what would you sell? You would buy one Bitcoin, right? And then sell, like 30. Is it 30? See, 10 would be 17,000. 20 would be 34,000. Let's say 36,000. We'll round it out. 36. That's 20. So 30 would be, it'd be about it, wouldn't it? It'd be like 28 to 1. Sell 28 contracts of the Ether versus the Bitcoin. Now, yeah, well, silver did go up. Now it's down. There was talk of like rip your face off rally. That's what they were talking about. Let's move that down. Let's see if we can find it here. Let's put it in here. There it is right there, a 30-minute. See? Right now they're pressing it down. And the pressure's on. It was up to 28. You can see that. At late last night in the Asian hour, in the Hong Kong hour, I guess you say, or because remember there's a Lunar New Year going on, and then they took it down, lifted it up again, and now it failed from the high of 27.85. Now it's trading at 27.35. So it dropped 50 cents over the last 4 hours or 3 hours. Interesting action there. Okay, traders, what should we talk about today? I guess we could say Ethereum, and we're gonna come up with titles like Ethereum and cable. Cable seems to be a big topic around here for me. I see cable constantly being very, very strong and lots of action in it. So we can look at, we can say silver and Ethereum today. I think that's the name of the game for our title of today's trading. See, Daniel says if it would have held 27.5, chance for a rally. Let's see, support silver 27.20, and if it holds that area, it might go up, if not down. Like the old trader on the floor. I like that. If it doesn't go up, it'll go down. If it doesn't go down, it'll go up. I like that. As far as FX, yeah, the Aussie yen and cable yen and euro yen, we're up. Yeah. Yeah. The yen, a friend from Exchange Days sent me something like at 4:30 this morning. Said something about option squeeze in Japan, and the Nikkei is up at 30,000. So it's only 9,000 points away from all-time highs. We haven't seen all-time highs since like 1992, maybe 28 years, something like that. So that's the that has been, a real disturbing factor is that they haven't been able to get get that moving. That is surprising in many ways. All right, traders. I guess we will see. I'm gonna get back on all indexes again. Yeah, Daniel, Nikkei 30. Wow. Yeah, I know, and that's something. Now, Chinese A 50 shares from 18,000 to 20,000. Now they're off big too, aren't they? I think they're off really big. They're like, wasn't their high like 47,000 or something like that? So they're beyond 50% down still. I mean, not China, Japan was like that for 3 decades. So, it's not surprising, that's for sure. and I think that that's the Singapore. Is that Singapore? No, Shanghai. The Shanghai indice. Yeah, I think that their index was down enormous at one point. I'm sure they're trying to come back on some level. All right, traders, we are gone. We will catch you tomorrow. This is Doc from North America, having an opportunity to have a conversation. That's what it really comes down to. Happy trails to you until we meet again on Wednesday. Happy trails to you, to all my cyber friends.